Hello and welcome to the Sunbirdcrochet podcast. My name is Claudia and I'm coming to you from sunny Germany. Never mind that we're going to have some snow next week, but today it's looking like spring. I have some plans for today, crochet plans, and the first section will be about the Movie and Stitch challenge, letter D. And afterwards I would like to talk about South African crochet designers, or based in South Africa, or their nationality is South African. Either way, there's a lot of crochet design coming from South Africa. Yeah, let's start right in. If you hear TikTok in the background, that's my standing clock. I'm not going to switch it off. And I've got a new haircut. The COVID hair is gone. Anyhow, let's start with the crochet. As you know, I've made a little owl for the Movie and Stitch challenge. This is for the letter D, the movie starting with the letter D, which is for me, Dead Men Don't Wear Plaid. This is a movie from the early 1980s and it's a spoof / homage to the film noir movies from the 1940s. You know, these black and white detective stories with Humphrey Bogart and other well-known actors. I've chosen this pattern because it has plaid here on the front, mainly. And this is a pattern from Pika Pau. I talked about it before. And this will be a little present for one of my nieces. Let me tell you a little bit about the movie. I'm going to read a bit about it because there's no way I can remember this. I've watched this movie a couple of times and I really enjoy it because it's like a collage of bits from old movies, black and white movies, mixed together with back then new material with Steve Martin and Rachel Ward and other actors. And anything with Steve Martin, you can bet that it's also a parody. But it's really fun. Sometimes it's a bit too much of a parody coming through for my taste, like when he dresses up as a woman, or when he has a tantrum about the reine Macke-Frau, which is the cleaning woman. But most of the time it's really funny. I like the element of old movies combining the new material, and it all comes down, or it all gives it a totally new meaning, and they make a story out of it, which I really enjoyed. I must say that I probably enjoyed the old movie bits better, or most. The way they twist it, it's really funny. Like in one scene, Steve Martin is eating a cookie and they cut in another person from an old movie who is really staring him down. And he says, the camera goes back to Steve Martin and he offers the guy a cookie as well. And then it goes back to the old scene material and that guy actually takes a cookie from the table standing next to him and eats it. So it's like, you know, this kind of coincidence working with it, you know. Yeah, so the plot. The plot is Juliet Forrest, played by Rachel Ward. is the daughter of noted scientist and cheesemaker John Hay Forrest, and she's asking private investigator Rigby Riordan, played by Steve Martin, to investigate her father's death, which she believes to be murder. Searching Dr. Forrest's lab, Rigby finds two lists, one titled Friends of Carlotta and the other Enemies of Carlotta, as well as an affectionately autographed photo of singer Kitty Collins, whose name appears on one of the lists. So he's searching for clues, and it's a detective story, a proper detective story. But since it's also a spoof, part of it is also about a secret cheese mold recipe was being sold to the Nazis. Well. And there are Nazis as well, like in every good film noir movie. Like in, actually what I really like is the one with Orson Welles, who in Vienna, was it The Green Man? I'll look it up just after telling you the cast members. Well, I already said Rigby Riordan is played by Steve Martin, Juliet Forrest is played by Rachel Ward, and the archive footage in order of appearance: Alan Ladd, Barbara Stanwyck, Ray Milland, Ava Gardner, Burt Lancaster, Humphrey Bogart, Cary Grant, Ingrid Bergman, Veronica Lake, Bette Davis, Lana Turner, Edward Arnold, Kirk Douglas, Fred McMurray, James Cagney, Joan Crawford, Charles Lawton, Vincent Price. So you see, they really bring it all together in this movie. And a little bit background info on the movie. In mid-1980, comedian Steve Martin was having lunch with director Carl Reiner and screenwriter George Geib. They were also discussing a screenplay Martin had written when he suggested that they use a clip from an old film. And from this suggestion came the idea of using all sorts of old movie clips to make a new film noir. I would enter a film, a scene here, but I think YouTube would ban me for it because of copyright. But I will link the trailer down below and you can have a look as well. So my favorite film noir is The Third Man with Orson Welles, which plays in Vienna after the Second World War, and Vienna is occupied and divided into different zones: the British zone, the American zone, and the Russian zone, just like the whole of Germany had been. And you know what? I'm going to keep this for my letter T movie. Watch this space. So this is my little owl. I call him Rigby Riordan after the main character in the movie. About my next movie, starting with the letter E, I thought I would change the genre, and I'm going to choose the movie Emma. And there are lots of different movie versions of Emma, the original story being, of course, written by Jane Austen. And there is the version with Kate Beckinsale, which was the first version I really watched. And then there is the series, the BBC series, and then the most recent one from last year, which I watched as well. And it has lots of nudity for the female audience, I suppose. But I haven't decided yet which version I'm going to take as my main inspiration. Maybe all of them. We will see. So, before I continue to my South African designer special, I would like to show you a knitted hat which I finished last night, and it looks a bit like a shapeless bag. But it really fits me well. So I've already ordered a fake fur pom-pom, and yeah, of course now it's 18 degrees and I can't wear it, but colder days will arrive again. And the pattern I've used is a free pattern by Nomad Stitches and Sandra Gutierrez, and it's a free pattern on her website. That said, the medium size is free and it's called the ... beanie. I left out the dots because, quite frankly, they drove me crazy. But if you just take the pattern itself without the dots, that works as well. And it has a nice crown with slip knit SSK decreases, and yeah, it's really stretchy as well. Fits on my huge head. Done and dusted. So now, South Africa is a huge inspiration for me. I lived there for 3 years and I've been married to a South African British guy for the 3 years, but I've been together with him for 7. And yes, I lived there and it has imprinted itself in my soul. I love South Africa. It's so diverse. It's a huge country with so many different areas and climates, in so many different climates in one country. And I used to live in Cape Town, which has a Mediterranean climate. We rarely had snow in winter, and since it's the southern hemisphere, winter is in June, July, August, that kind of time. And in summer we usually had the highest degrees had been 36 degrees kind of thing. Yes. I lived close to the botanical gardens, and from my bedroom I had a view onto Devil's Peak and Table Mountain, and I really miss this. I miss the nature, I miss the sea, I miss the beaches, I miss the flowers and the animals, the screeching sound of a guinea fowl waking me up at 5 in the morning. Not. Anyhow, the colors of Cape Town are still inspiring me, and I'm really happy to see so many crochet designs coming from South Africa and from South African designers who either still live there or are living now in the UK. And I thought I would start with these ones in the background. These are designs by Heidi Bears. The big one here, do I look big from the back? Yes, you do. This huge one is Tundi, the African flower rhino. And maybe I should add a bit of wire to the ears so that they don't flap so much. I really like Heidi Bears designs. She has you crocheting octagons, hexagons and so on, and then you join them together to form animals like this rhino and that giraffe up there. And I've also made this huge hippo. So yeah, she has also lots of other animals like sheep. There is a dinosaur, there's a dragon, there's a little bird, a teddy bear, an elephant, a horse, there must be more, but I can't remember right now. But these were my favorites, the African animals, as usual. So this is Heidi Bears. And then we have Jen Tyler. Jen Tyler, she's living in Cape Town. And I've started making her chrysalis fro recently. This is how far I've come. And it's a make-along, like a mystery make-along. I'm now in part one was until about here. And now I moved on to part 2. And there is also part 3A and part 3B. And once I'm finished, this will be a proper big fro, a blanket. I love her designs. She's very creative. And it does look complicated, but she explains it so well. And her patterns, they are not free. Some of them were, I don't know if they still are, but her patterns are not that expensive. And they always come with video instructions. And she has unlisted videos on YouTube. And you can go back there and take your time, row by row. She shows you everything. And she has a really calm and relaxed voice. And she has cats and dogs. Definitely dogs. I think also a cat. Yeah, so I've made lots of patterns from Jen Tyler. This is another one. I probably showed it to you before. This is the Durban Spice Girls square, or you can extend it to a fro or blanket as well, but I decided to make it into a huge cushion. And I love these flowers here, and look at the detail. So beautiful. Be prepared for more. I'm going to flash it at you. This is the Pondoland square. And I've chosen to only use 3 colors with this one. Also Jen Tyler design. I intend to make this into a cushion cover. Pondoland is a region in South Africa. That's another Pondoland square. This is already a cushion cover, but you have to change in between. Pondoland square. I really love the center flower. And then I have the Amanzi block, also by Jen Tyler, or Amanzi flower. Beautiful. The design. And I've made this in another color as well, which I've turned into a fro. And I haven't finished this properly, but it had become big enough. Let me stand up for this one. This is my icy Amanzi. So on to the next designer, which is Diane Ace. She spelled U-Y-S, and I saw on her website that it's pronounced Ace. And she's living in the UK, but she's originally from South Africa as well. And I've shown you my Sophie's Universe blanket. I've made a little extra video about the finished object, and I entered it into a finish along as well. And that was really my first blanket project in this dimension. I started this in 2016, I think, and I finished it this month. Because for years I had the last couple of rows left out, unfinished in my cupboard. Thanks to Sophie from a Spring Snowflake podcast. Not why Sophie's universe is called like that, but thanks to Sophie. Forget it. Thank you, Sophie, for inspiring me to finish my Sophie. And Deidre has lots of free patterns as well. I've made a couple of blankets using her free pattern for just a plain blanket, and I held up to 5 strands of yarn together at the same time, and it's a continuous spiral, and it's a great stash buster, and I just work in round and round and round, and then you have a lovely blanket, and it has a bit of a marl effect because you hold so many strands of yarn together at the same time. But she also has other lovely patterns, and her website is called Look at What I've Made, and this is her Prince Protea pattern, the one in the middle here, the square. I've made this because I love Protea flowers. It really does look like it, and this is also a cushion cover. Deidre Ace. I'm going to link to her below. Last but not least, I would like to show you another blanket design. This designer is called Iman van der Kraan, and this is a free pattern, and it will be difficult to show as well. I might have to add a photo or something. So I haven't woven in the ends yet, but let me just show you the middle. This is the Jacaranda blanket. It was a crochet along. I haven't finished this yet. There's still more to add to this border. But it's really beautiful, beautiful. It's free. If you want to try it, do it. You have got nothing to lose. And she also has video instructions row by row. Can't get enough of this stuff. Also great stash buster. What more can I say? South African designers, yes. There are more, but I think I will stop here. There is Jumi. I'm going to link to her as well. I haven't made any of her patterns yet, but Jumi Conradi, going to link to her down below as well. So this is my South African love, sharing my love for South African makers and designers. And I would like to add some very old footage taken in the 90s from my first time visiting Cape Town. Just scenery, you know, nothing too personal. But it's really stunning, a stunning place. It has lots of problems as well, just mentioning crime rate, corona at the moment, like all countries of course, lack of water supply, electricity, so on and so on. But at the same time, it's a place of pure beauty. The sea, the flora, the fauna. I haven't been living there for a while, but when I lived there, the president was Nelson Mandela, and after him Thabo Mbeki. and they were both presidents I could look up to. I mean, Nelson Mandela, he was, I feel so privileged to have lived in South Africa during his presidency. Yes, but I don't want to be too nostalgic. Life is good as it is right now as well, apart from ups and downs, health scares, etc. There's always something which could be better, but let's be happy and content with what we have. Let's not forget the important things in life, to be grateful for what we have. And speaking of which, I'm grateful for the opportunity to share my life for crochet here and to meet new friends. And this is not supposed to be soppy in any kind, in any way. Don't let me waffle on for ages. Let's just say thank you for watching, and I hope you're going to hit the subscribe button if you haven't already, and I hope you're going to come back to me and share your projects with me. And please tell me if you're going to make any of the patterns I've shown you, or if you know of any other South African makers I have forgotten to mention. Thank you for watching. Bye. Forgot to mention this one. Diane Ace design.